Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you another format for straight line. It tends to get used at higher, it get used at National 5 as well. Just another way of working out the equation in a straight line. It's a wee bit more involved, I would say, rather than y equals mx plus c. So I'll derive where it comes from, and then we'll do a couple of examples just to show you how we use it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a set of axes, x and y axis, then 2 points, and then draw the line in and work it through. Okay. So that's the y axis and this is the x axis. Okay, so I'm going to put a point here, I'm going to call it AB. So it's any point, I'm just calling it AB. And then we're going to do another point up here. I'm going to call that one XY. See, we can call it anything we like, but that's letters it tends to get used. So we'll take a ruler and we'll draw in a line. And we're going to work out the gradient. So draw in your right angle triangle. Now, for the gradient, you should know from previous videos, the gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, my y2 in this case is just y, minus my y1, which is b, called it b, over my x2 is just simply x, and my x1 I've called a. Okay. Now all we do now is use our knowledge of rearranging an equation, and we're going to rearrange this slightly. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to swap it round. So I'm going to write it as y minus b over x minus a is equal to m. And the last wee bit, we don't like fractions, so I'm going to multiply both sides by x minus a. So if I multiply both sides by x minus a, I get y minus b is equal to m bracket x minus a. And that's another format for finding the equation in a line. Okay, it looks a wee bit more complicated. The AB is just a point on the line, m is the gradient that we always know. And that's basically it. And then we would rearrange it if we want into y equals mx plus c, if we wanted to read some things off. Okay, so let's do an example. Well, I think I'll just rub out my a and my b, put values in here, and we'll see how it all pans out. Okay, so I'll call my AB down here. Let's keep it nice and simple, 1, 2. And up here, 4, 6, something like that. Okay. So we have to work out the gradient. So let's work out the gradient. So the gradient is equal to y2, which is 6, minus y1, which is 2, over x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is 1, and that gives me 4 over 3. So my gradient's 4 over 3. Now, how do we use this formula then? Well, the gradient, straight right in, so we've got that. And my a and b here are just coordinates. So pick any coordinate we want to make a and b. I'll just make it 1, 2, my coordinates for a and b. So just to make it a wee bit clearer, my AB in the equation is equal to 1, 2. And we know the gradient, 4 over 3. And we just put these values in here and we rearrange it. So we're going to have y minus my b, which is 2, is equal to my gradient, which is 4 over 3, bracket x minus my a. Well, my A is 1 here. And so if we just rearrange all that, so we're going to have y minus 2 is equal to 4/3 x minus 4 over 3. Add 2 to both sides, so I'm going to add 2 onto here and add 2 onto here, it's equation work. So y is going to be equal to 4 over 3x, and this bit here, minus 4 over 3 plus 2. Well, we can write 2 as 6 over 3, and if we sort that out, you should get 2 over 3. And that's the format of y equals mx plus c. And we could sketch that, so if we want to sketch that, so do we sketch? There's my x and my y. Well, my gradient is positive, so it's going this way, and it's passing at 2/3, so it's down here somewhere. Let's draw a line in. So it's in the corner is 0, 2 over 3, and my gradient is 4 over 3. There we go. Okay. And that's it. But we tend to use that formula at higher, but if you want to use it in ISO 5, it'd be good practice, because when you get to higher, then you're familiar with it, and higher won't be so daunting. I'd also say to you that straight line is really, really important for higher, really important. Let's do another wee example. We'll do a negative one this time, so we'll just show you the format again, write that up. We're accessing that in again. And let's make it 4 quadrants this time. And there's my x and y. So let's pick a couple of points. Well, let's go for something up here. So say minus 2, 1. I'll let something down here. Let's go along a 3, minus 2. So something down here, and we'll call that 3, minus 2. Line out. And we know our value for the gradient is going to be negative, so when we work it out, we should be thinking, oh, I need a negative answer, so we don't make any mistakes. So let's work it out. Well, m is equal to y2. Well, I'll make this y2. Maybe just put these in just to make it a wee bit clearer for people in case you're struggling a wee bit. So my y2 is minus 2 minus my y1, which is 1, all over x2, which is 3, minus my x1, which is negative 2. So all over, that's minus 3 over 5. Okay, so my gradient is minus 3 over 5. So we've got the gradient, we need a point, pick any point we like. I think I'll just pick AB to be equal to minus 2, 1. And we just work it through. Okay, so working it through, we've got all the information that we need. We're going to transfer that up into here. So I'm going to have y minus, well, this is my AB. Yeah, so my B is 1, so minus 1 is equal to my gradient, which is minus 3 over 5, x minus my A is minus 2 or negative 2, so that's going to become a plus. So we'll just write that out again in case we make any mistakes. X plus 2. Multiply it all out, so let's see, so y minus 1 is equal to minus 3/5 x minus 6 over 5. So just be careful with your fraction like that. So what I'm doing here is that times that, that times that. And then I'm going to have to add 1 to both sides, so adding 1 onto here and 1 onto here. we get y is equal to minus 3/5 x. And we're adding 1 onto that. Well, 1 is the same as 5 over 5. So minus 6 over 5 plus 5 over 5 is the same as minus 1 over 5. So again, if we're going to sketch that out, let's do a wee sketch. Well, we know it crosses at 0 minus 1/5, and it's a negative slope. So it goes something like that. Remember your y and x axis. Okay, that's the sort of sketch you could put on here. M equals minus 0 over 5 if you like. Okay, and that's all there is to straight line. You can use any version. You can use y equals mx plus c. That was my last video. That's quite useful for reading things off. And the type of questions you get in National 5, y equals mx plus c, is probably the easier version because of the information you get. It's easier to work with. But at higher, your diagrams are a wee bit more complicated, and this one's usually the better one to use. But it does matter. Use any one you like. So that's it. Okay, and that's straight line finished. So between the last two videos and this video, that's everything at National 5 that you need to know for straight line. Okay, thank you.